Hi. Oulu, the fifth most populated city of Finland. Located in a northeast part of the Gulf of Bothnia. The administrative center of the province of Oulu. It is located in the northwest of the country, at confluence of the Oulu River with the Gulf of Bothnia of the Baltic Sea. Founded in 1605, Oulu, the oldest city in northern Finland. History. Under the Orikavetsky Agreement of 1323 between the Novgorod Republic and the Swedish Kingdom, the region where there is modern Oulu was a part of the Novgorod Earth. Proceeding from the Novgorod Chronicles, it is possible to assume that the mouth of the river of Oulu to the middle of the 1370th already had trade. A trade and fishing. A settlement. Posed. Which had favorable conditions to become the most considerable economic, political and strategic point of edge. The settlement, it, most likely, was created by local population and arose spontaneously, in process of the local social and economic relations, and was hardly especially big by the sizes. The river of Oulu, Oulu, was the most important of the Russian Pribotnaya's rivers, connected by the ancient waterway through the system of the Lake Pyalinen. With White Sea Karelia and with Karelian Priladosim. On this river, and in general on this waterway, Russians got to Pribotnaya, and on it, obviously, there were trade relations of Pribotnaya to Novgorod. Economic and political connections of Novorodians with the Sea Pribotachesky coast and with the population of other Pribotnaya rivers which were also flowing into the Gulf of Bothnia. Other 6 rivers from the total number of 7 which were available in the region were simplest to be performed from the mouth of the river of Oulu. In 1375, it agrees the Novgorod 4 and Sofia I Chronicles. The Karelians post of Semidesiatsky, the new town. This news, most likely, is in connection with news of 1377 in Novgorod I, Novgorod 4 and Sofia the I Chronicles about a campaign from Novgorod, to the new town on Oulu on Reeds to Nemechki. For our understanding of both news, the greatest value has the specific place name mentioned in the second news, the name of the Oulu River. Alioki. The Sofia Chronicle reporting that the campaign of Novorodians of 1377 was made, on Oki on the sea to Tvrola, gives additional instructions. To the new town on Oulu Reeds. Oki on the sea is meant expression the Gulf of Bothnia here. Tvrola, the area or the river in Pribotnaya. Most likely it would use it is about the attempt of occupation of Pribotachesky lands which was expressed in construction in 1375 of fortress on the river of Oulu near its confluence with the Gulf of Bothnia made from the Swedish side and about the Russian campaign for mastering the Swedish fortress and for restoration of the Russian power in Pribotnaya. However, there is not clear only time the expression which is found in written sources, the Karelian Semidesiatsky. Next year the Pope Gregory XI interfered with the conflict. Soon after that Russians had to leave these lands. However, despite the transition of Pribotachesky lands which actually took place in 1375 under the power of Sweden, officially this area continued to be considered by both states as ownership of Russia still for a long time. The border established by the Orikavetsky Agreement 1323 legally continued to exist 200 more years and almost in all remain texts of the Russian-Swedish agreements, the 15th, 16th centuries minus 1473, 1482, 1487, 1497, 1504, 1510, 1535, 1561, the traditional line of this border from the River of the Sister to the Gulf of Bothnia was officially confirmed. In 1590 on the island of Olunsari, on the place of the strengthenings which were available there, the lock which became the administrative center of northern Ostrobothnia was constructed. The Chivinsky Treaty of 1595 was adopted for Swedes by all district of Oulu and the Lake Oulujärvi. Foundation of the city. On April 8, 1605, the Swedish King Charles IX disposed to found the settlement opposite to the lock, and in 1610 granted it the status of the city. In 1651 about 400 people, in 1682 already about 800 lived in Oulu. In 1612 in Oulu the first school opened. As a result of Great Northern War of 1714-1721, the most part of the Finnish Principality was occupied by the Russian troops, and Oulu appeared on the neutral zone between the Russian and Swedish troops. However, under the Nystatsky Agreement of 1721, the Finnish Principality departed to Sweden again. As a result of war, the population of Oulu decreased up to about 400 people. After war the city continued to grow. In 1724 in Tapila the new port was built, and by 1765 when Oulu were the right to foreign trade is granted, its population made about 1400 people. Since 1776 Oulu becomes the capital of the Uleåborgsky province, formed from the province of Ostrobothnia, and the residence of the governor. The population increased up to 2,400 people. Moreover, at the end of the 18th century Oulu becomes the second largest city of the country, with the population in 3,400 people, after the capital of Turku. During the Russian-Swedish War of 1808-1809 in Ostrobothnia there took place heavy fighting, and Oulu becomes basic base of the Swedish troops. Under the Fredrikshamnsky Peace Treaty of 1809 the most part of the territory of Finland, including Ostrobothnia, departs to Russia and becomes the Grand Duchy Finnish. In 1822 in Oulu there was a heavy fire which destroyed 330 houses from 395. In June 1854, during the Crimean War, on raid of Oulu the English flotilla dropped anchors. 5,800 residents preferred not to show resistance and gave up. Having filled up food stocks, British were limited to the fact that burned several trade ships under construction. First bridge through Oulujoki was built in 1869, and now 68-70 residents could cross for a feedy river without boats. In 1886 the railroad Helsinki-Oulu opened. Independent Finland. Civil War of 1917-1918 of Oulu concerned a little. Only in a concentration camp on the island of Roti died about 90, red, about 10 more were killed, white, in the city. In 1919 when about 15200 people lived in Oulu, the first elections to city council where 36 people, from them 5 women were elected took place. During the Soviet-Finnish War of 1939-1940 of Oulu twice, on January 1 and 21, 1940, was exposed to bombings of the Soviet aircraft during which 5 residents of already almost 25,000 city were killed. During World War II in Oulu the serving parts and headquarters of the Finnish and German troops were located, and the German garrison totaled up to 4,000 people. Within the city, 2 concentration camps, Finnish and German, for captured Red Army men who in particular were used on construction of hydroelectric power station of Merikoski and the bridge on the island of Hietasari were located. The greatest destructions brought to the city: February bombings of 1944. After signing on September 19, 1944 of the peace treaty between the USSR and Finland, according to which Finns undertook to force out the German troops from the country, the German garrison after the farewell banquet peacefully left Oulu. Further, from the beginning in the north of fighting between the German and Finnish troops, Germans destroyed almost all Finnish Lapland, including its capital of Rovaniemi. After war, the city quickly grew. In 1958 in Oulu the university was open, and in 1965 the city became for a short time the largest in Finland due to accession of neighboring lands. In 1973 in the city the first branch of the Nokia company was open, and in the early 80s the city council made the strategic decision to make the center of high technologies of Oulu, as quite successfully performed for the next 2 decades. Oulu is in a zone of subarctic climate with cold, snow winter and in the short and warm summer. Average annual temperature is 2.7 C. 36.9 F. An average amount of precipitation -508 m. Dropping out generally late summer and in the fall. Dynamics of the population of Oulu in 1880-2010. The population of Oulu for December 31, 2009 made 139,151 inhabitants, from whom men of 48.9%, women of 51.1%. Education. At the Oulu University, founded in 1958, there are 6 faculties with the following main directions of training: biotechnologies, information technologies, problems of northern regions and environment protection. In 2003 in it 15829 students studied and 3096 teachers and scientists, from them 236 professors worked. The University of Applied Sciences of the City of Oulu, founded in 1992, trains the following direction specialists: culture, natural resources and environment, natural sciences, social sciences, business and administration, social protection, sport and health, information technologies, telecommunications and transport. At the University of Applied Sciences about 7,700 students study. In addition to usual elementary and high schools, in Oulu there is also international school with teaching in English. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.